Hello YouTube, my name is Simon and I'm the creator of Awakenings Fantasy, which is a tabletop role-playing game system. In this video I'm going to cover some of the frequently asked questions regarding tabletop gaming and in particular the Awakening system itself. Okay, so what is a tabletop role-playing game? TTRPG is where players assume the roles of characters in a fictional setting, and they're guided by a game master who knows and understands the rules, and they describe the environment and events that are taking place for the players. As a player, you could equate it to being like an actor on stage in an improvised play, or even a protagonist in your favorite book or TV show. What do I need in order to start playing a TTRPG? Well, typically you'll need rulebooks, character sheets, dice, especially a set of polyhedral dice, pencils and a good imagination. Some games also use miniatures and maps, but in Awakenings the players only need the player's guide, and this will help you create your characters, and the game master will need the Game Master's Guide and the Player's Guide, and will need a full understanding of all the rules. What is high fantasy? High fantasy typically takes place in a completely fictional universe, often with its own geography, history and rules of magic, and the protagonists are usually larger than life heroes, often on a quest or mission that holds great significance for the fate of their world. There are some good examples of this. Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones come to mind. How do I create a character? Character creation typically involves choosing a race, class and background, and then assigning ability scores, skills and equipment based on the game's rules. Awakenings has 12 different races to choose from. Some will be familiar to most people, including dwarf, elf and gnome, but there are a number of unique races specifically for the Awakenings game, such as the Mitagan, who are shaped from crystal and minerals and stone, the Pridekin race, who are human-animal hybrids that come in many shapes and sizes, and there's the Imka, who bring the cute factor, and they are descended from red bears found in the forests across the world of Anway. There are 14 different classes to choose from in Awakenings. I won't go through them all, but classes like the Ranger, the Monk, the Bard, the Druid, the Elementalist and the Enigmatic Fade Slider are all available to choose in the Player's Guide. What are ability scores? So, ability scores are numerical values that represent a character's core attributes, such as strength, agility, stamina, intelligence, will, and charm. And often a game master will call for a roll when interacting with the world around you based on a particular attribute. And this will often be combined with a skill that you have selected for your character. So, for example, if you're trying to break down a door, you might require a strength attribute roll. And in Awakenings, if you have the bodybuilding skill, that would give you an additional percentage chance of breaking down that door. What are hit points? So hit points represent a character's health. When a character takes damage in the game, their hit points will decrease, and if their hit points reach 0, they may become incapacitated or even die. How do dice rolls work in a tabletop role-playing game? Dice rolls are used to determine the outcome of actions within the game. Different games use different types of dice, usually denoted by a D followed by a number, so D20 for example, D8, D6. Awakenings uses all of the dice, all of the polyhedral dice, but is primarily a percentage-based system, so that's D100. What is a campaign? A campaign is a series of interconnected adventures and sessions that form a larger story. and this is usually played out over a long period of time. My own player group is a good example of this. We have been meeting for 2 to 3 hours every Sunday for a year to play a particular campaign, and of course it's a great excuse to meet up with friends and have some fun. What is a one-shot? Well, this refers to a single game session, often over a number of hours, unconnected to a campaign or a longer story arc, also sometimes known as a dungeon crawl. Are there any critical hit tables in Awakenings? Yes, my player group loves critical hit tables, and there are many within the player's book covering lots of different aspects of gameplay, including spellcasting, summoning, fumbling, melee criticals, ranged criticals, etc. etc. Will there be more Awakenings content? Yes, there is a lot of additional content in the works. Currently 2 new races and 2 new classes are being play tested, along with new spells, abilities, monsters and magical items. There's also the Blood Plague episodic campaign, and that is equivalent to about 48 hours worth of playtime for an average group of 4 to 6 players. Will there be any hardback or softback books? I really hope so. We're due to launch a Kickstarter campaign to do a print run of books in the first quarter of 2025, so all support is greatly appreciated.